Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode as we seek to learn more about our environment, about growing food, tree growing, tree planting, and all these kind of issues. And today we want to focus on the big, all this looks like waste of plastic. We live in a world where we have been unsustainable. And as you see these plastics that I have with me, we have learned to maximize on them. And I must say there are various companies here that we definitely would love to work with. This is a Sprite, Coca-Cola, there's some oil, there's Toss, there's so many other milk companies, there's Brookside, so many different companies that are still using plastics. And yes, the ban has really helped with the reduction of pollution because of plastics. But just to highlight how these plastics that are already there, that are already in our environment, and how we could use them. So for us, we've been cutting our plastic bottles. This is a 500 ml soda plastic bottle, and we've been using it to grow our seedlings. I can't remember the last time we bought, peppers, because they've become as rare as, I don't know what kind of commodity or gold or whatever it is. But we've not been using this kind of peppers for such a long time. And we've been using plastic bottles. So these plastic bottles, we pot them. Now use the example of the soil that is right here. So of course we do it with a mix. Like this soil here already has sand, and you can see you can fill it up, and of course you can water it and then also plant your seedling here. And here we have a podo tree, Podocarpus, and it's a wonderful tree to have in your compound. And it's being grown on this plastic bottle, because all it will need for us is just to press it this way, and then we're going to just put it under and remove it. It's not yet time to plant it, it's still here at the nursery. But what we want to emphasize on is that look at the plastics that are around you and how you could recycle them and use them for other uses. In any case, there are different kind of containers. Say for example, this one is for Elianto. And when growing a smaller seed, we could use this. And then when we get to a larger plant or a larger tree, we could transplant the tree that is in here, or we want to grow for a longer duration, this podo tree, we could transplant it to this tree. Of course, you have to remove the plastic and then put it in and grow this tree for a longer time. Of course, what happens is that this container has a lot more food, has a lot more time to allow this tree to grow, and it could increase by a couple of inches or feet depending on what you put in your soil. Of course, we put manure, we put some sand, some soil, so that water still passes through, but also the seedling is able to pull out the nutrients that are in that soil. So for those who have such containers, they could really also be useful for indoor plants. You could do your succulents, you could do your flowers, you could do your herbs as well. So we are really hoping that people will understand, and based on this time that we have seen how our environment has recovered, we're able to see Mount Kenya from where we are located. Down on this side, we're able to see Kilimanjaro, because we all have seen how pollution has reduced across the world thanks to COVID-19. But can we live sustainably in a better way? So we must seek ways to, grow more trees, use what we have. But also for such companies, it's also important that with your CSR, corporate social responsibility, how can you produce these plastics and not have a sustainable plan around it? How are you, how do we throw away our plastics? How do they get, removed out of our environment? How can these companies play their role? They're the ones who have produced all this plastic. How can you work even with others? It doesn't have to be us, but other people, on how to control the plastics that often we see in our rivers, clogging our system, clogging our, our flow, the flow of water, and so many things. And we must be responsible citizens, and we're always open for a conversation to discuss on how possibly we could work together to scale our impact in our Miti Schools program, or how we could reach many more people, teach them the systems that we're using here in our nursery, but more so plant and grow more trees across Kenya. So thank you very much for watching today's episode, and we look forward to having you over to our nursery and you can see these systems and how we are doing them. Thank you very much, and stay tuned to Miti Alliance.